Hi everybody. Today is June 29th, 2019 at 9:44 p.m. It is Saturday, and today I wanted to talk about lagna or ascendant Capricorn. As you know, Capricorn is the 10th Rashi. It is the 10th zodiac sign. Now, in Vedic astrology, the 12 rishis go spreading throughout 27 nakshatras. So, since we're talking about Capricorn, we will be talking about 3 nakshatras since Capricorn is flowing through these 3. The first one is Parashara in pod 2 through 4. Then it covers the entire nakshatra of Shravana. And then it moves along to Dhanishta, all the way until Pada 2. I did want to talk about Capricorn today because it is Saturday. We're in Tridoshia Tithi, so it's pretty much open for any specific deity that you want to give thanks to. But most of all, I wanted to mention Capricorn because starting January 14th, 2020 at 6:22 a.m., Shani, the planet Saturn, is going to move into Capricorn. It's going to move from Sagittarius and go into Capricorn. So that will be a little bit of something to look forward to. Again, that's January 14th, 2020, so it is coming up here shortly. So folks, today I'm going to talk about Capricorn Ascendant or Lagna, and I'm going to talk about having that Ascendant, what happens to all the bhavas. Now, for those of you who don't know, a bhava is a house. So in Vedic astrology, there are 12 houses for every person. And I'm sure you folks already know that. So let's just continue with the effects of the bhavas for a Capricorn lagna. I'm going to quote from translated Parashara Parashara. So I am very excited to do this. I have never seen a video quite exactly like this. I had to do some research to find everything that I found just in this one original source. And again, I'm going to say that Parashara is somebody who is a scholarly and deserves respect in the Vedic way of life. So I will begin by starting with the 10th lagna and the effects of the bhavas. So the 10th lord is going to be in your first house. This will make the native scholarly, famous, be a poet, will incur diseases in the boyhood and be happy later on. His wealth will increase day by day. Now we move for the 11th lord, and that's going to be in the second bhava, or the second house. And as I go along with this, you'll be able to see how this all works. So with the 11th lord in the second house, the native will be endowed with all kinds of wealth and all kinds of accomplishments, be charitable, religious, and always happy. So now we move to the 12th lord, which will be in your third house. The native will be devoid of fraternal bliss, will hate others, and will promote self-nourishment. Now, for you who don't know what fraternal means, that means when you have a group of friends or your peers or your colleagues or your workmates, classmates, you name it, it means that this fraternal bliss that you would have would be mingling with all your peers, basically, or mingling at the workplace. So, 12th Lord in the 3rd Bhava, according to Parashara, the native will be devoid of fraternal bliss and will hate others and will promote self-nourishment. So as I said, there are 12 rishis. So we just got done speaking about the 12th Lord in the 3rd house for a Capricorn ascendant or lagna. So now we're at the 1st Lord, which is going to be in the 4th house. This native will be endowed with paternal and maternal happiness, will have many brothers, be lustful, virtuous, and charming. So that's what happens if the 1st Lord happens to fall in the 4th Bhava, which it will for any Capricorn ascendant. Now we move to the 2nd Lord in the 5th house. This native will be wealthy. Not only the native, but also his sons will be intent on earning wealth. Now we're moving to the 3rd Lord in the 6th house. The native will be inimissible to his co-born, be affluent, will not be well disposed to his maternal uncle, and be dear to his maternal aunt. So again, if the 3rd Lord is sitting in the 6th house for our Capricorn ascendants, that means this native is going to be inimissible to his co-born, be affluent, will not be well disposed to his maternal uncle, and be dear to his maternal aunt. So now we're moving along to the 4th Lord in the 7th house. This native will be endowed with a high degree of education, will sacrifice his patrimony to be akin to the dumb in an assembly. So basically, for all my younger readers, basically what patrimony means is your position in life. So perhaps you're writing novels, or you're an actress or actor, or you have a degree as a surgeon. You went to medical school for that, but you're doing something different. That's basically what that is saying. It's saying he's going to sacrifice his patrimony and be akin to the dumb in assembly. Now, dumb can mean, dumb means dumb. So, Parashara, I'm sure, that's the word that it has been translated into. Now we move along to the 5th Lord, which is going to be sitting in the 8th house. The native will not have much progenic. So that means like having children. Will not have much progenic happiness. Will be troubled by cough and pulmonary disorders. Will be given to anger and be devoid of happiness. So again, let me repeat that one. The 5th Lord in the 8th house, which will be for any Capricorn ascendant. Your 5th Lord will fall into the 8th house, And this will make the native not have much progenetic, I don't know why I can't say that word, progenic, which means creating offspring, happiness. So that means maybe children will be delayed, maybe no children, there will be a problem. Or maybe you'll have children, but you won't be happy about it. But I think it's more along the lines of creating a child. Since it's progenic, it probably has to do with the genes and things like that. So, it could even go as far as to having children, and maybe, let's say, a distant relative had a genetic disorder, and now all of a sudden it skipped 5 generations, and then all of a sudden it falls on your child. So, it could be something like that, I guess. And will be troubled by cough and pulmonary disorders, and will be given to anger and devoid of happiness. And moving along to the 6th Lord, which will be sitting in your 9th house, this native will trade in wood and stones. Also, in parentheses, he has Pashan, which also means poison. So, Pashan meant poison. There was a lot of poison concoctions going on in those days. So perhaps it could be something like pesticides or herbicides or something like that today. Something poison. Something that's poison. Like, it has the skull and the crossbones, something like that. So, and will have fluctuating professional fortunes. So, again, I'm going to repeat that. If the 6th Lord is in the 9th bhava, the native will trade in wood and stones, Pashan, which also means poison, and will have fluctuating professional fortunes. Moving along, the 7th Lord will be in the 10th house. This native will beget a disobedient wife, will be religious and endowed with wealth, sons, etc. So, disobedient spouse, mainly wife, will be religious and endowed with wealth, sons, etc. So, moving along, the 8th Lord is going to be sitting in the 11th house. Now, something Parashara said with this, if the 8th Lord is along with a malefic in that 11th house, the native will be devoid of wealth, will be miserable in boyhood, but happy later on. Now, should this 8th Lord be with a benefic and be in the 11th house? So, should the 8th Lord be with a benefic and be in the 11th house, this native will be long-lived. Okay? And moving along to the 9th Lord in the 12th house. So all Capricorn ascendants will have their 9th Lord in the 12th house. This native will incur loss of fortunes, will always spend on auspicious acts, and will become poor on account of entertaining guests. So folks, there you have it. That is according to Sage Parashara. I hope that you enjoyed this as much as I did. Have a good day. Bye-bye.